Hopefully the third time is the charm. Welcome to this channel. It's Gray Cloudy Day. I am Gray Cloud. Yes, Gray Cloud. Sage of the Eternal Moment. And because the only moment I have is this one. It's not a moment from yesterday. It's not a moment in the future. It's right here, right now. I'm glad to be getting back into this mind frame and really finding myself in my way back to the reason I call myself Sage of the Eternal Moment. I feel like the past few months I've just slowly got out of the moment and I got too caught up in my own head and not dealing with things appropriately necessarily. But the past week has been really cool, a lot more productive, and you could anybody that's been keeping up with the channel this past week can see that I am coming back fairly strong with some videos. The past starting yesterday or day before, I have done a couple of videos where I've added some more, did a little bit of editing type stuff, you know what I mean? And I hope to do a little more of that because, that's the goal, is to try to get better at what I do. But first, first things first, I've learned over the past couple of months, the first thing I need to take care of, first and foremost, is my health, my mental, my spiritual health first and foremost, because when my spiritual is out of whack, then the mental gets out of whack, and then the physical is all out of whack. Now, physically, I have a bunch of problems and issues, but when I have my spiritual and mental states in the better places, the physical seems to relieve itself. I mean, it just does a lot easier. I get through the physical pain a lot easier when I'm in sync with my spiritually and mentally. What I'm going to do here is share a little bit from the Fifth Agreement, which there's 5 agreements, and but this book is the Fifth Agreement. It does cover the 4 agreements. If you've never read the 4 agreements and you only found a copy, let's say a copy of the Fifth Agreement falls into your hands, you've never heard of the Toltec, you've never read the 4 agreements, this book right here does basically the first few chapters is like basically explaining what the 4 agreements was, what the purpose was, and why the 5th agreement wasn't included with the 4 agreements when it originally came out. That being said, could you think about hitting that like button? And if you haven't, subscribe. I'm doing this because there is a subscriber that he still comments once or twice a week. I've seen him commenting here lately again over the past few weeks. So he hasn't left the channel and he's still around. I know how life is, just like, my life. I can't watch every single video of every single channel I watch because I'm subscribed to so many different channels, and I go through phases where, I'm eclectic. So depending on what, sometimes I'm watching a bunch of certain types of videos from certain types of channels, and then, my interest may dwindle for a little while, and because I just, it depends on my mood and what day I'm in. But let me share this with you. I just wanted to share some stuff. Those who are not yet wise are searching for perfection. They're searching for God. They're searching for heaven and trying to find it. Well, there's nothing to search for. It's already here. Everything is within you. You don't have to search for heaven. You are heaven right now. You don't have to search for happiness. Your happiness, you are happiness wherever you are. You don't have to search for the truth. You are the truth. You don't have to search for perfection. That's an illusion. You don't have to search for yourself. You never left yourself. You don't have to search for God. God never left you. Imagine that. Isn't that wonderful? I love that line. God is always with you. You are always with yourself. If you don't see God everywhere, it's because your attention is focused on all those gods you really believe in. Lowercase gods. If you're reading it, you'll see the lowercase g. And I know what he's talking about there. Now, this ain't a Christian book or anything. This is not even a religious text. It's just 5 agreements that can, and then this is the 5th agreement, but there's 5 agreements that if we practice them, sometimes I don't do so well. Sometimes I go better at them. The 5th agreement is be skeptical, but learn to listen. Don't have to believe everything somebody's saying to you, but you can learn to listen and digest it, process it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You're learning a lot that way. Even in this book, he tells you question yourself, question everything, question me, the guy writing the book. I'm going to read this other paragraph to you. The presence of the infinite is everywhere. But if you're in darkness, you don't see what is there. You don't see it because you only see your own knowledge. You guide your creation through that dream, and when your knowledge can't explain what is happening in your life, you feel threatened. What you know is what you want to know, and whatever threatens your knowledge makes you feel insecure. But the moment will come when you realize that knowledge is nothing but a description of a dream. You are the unknowable. You are here just to be in this moment, in this dream. Being has nothing to do with knowledge. It's not about understanding. You don't need to understand. It's not about learning. You're here to unlearn, and that's it. Until one day you realize you know nothing. You only know what you believe, what you learned, just to find out that it wasn't the truth. Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, took his whole life to get to the point where he said, as for me, all I know is that I know nothing. And I'll leave it at that because that's the way I like to think. I know a lot of things about a lot of different things, but truthfully, I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the grand schemes of the things, if I think I know a lot about everything and all this, I know it all. Well, if you think you already know it, you probably ain't going to grow very much. That's my opinion. It's good to learn. It's good to be open, and that's why he says in this book, like, be skeptical but learn to listen. And of course, if you're not familiar with the 4 agreements ahead of this book and don't even know anything about them, the 4th agreement itself is always do your best, meaning your best changes from day to day. Some days is going to be better than others. But if you've put your best foot forward on that day you're in, even on the worst of days, then you should be able to be in a more stable, calmer place. A lot of fear comes from not being our authentic selves, who we are. So I just wanted to share that because, like I said, there's a subscriber that's interested in learning more about the Toltecs. I haven't talked about the Toltecs in a while. And, it did me some good to just open up the book and find a spot and read a couple of paragraphs to myself and then go, you know what, I'm going to share this. So, yeah. Until next time, Mr. Grey Cloud says to the eternal moment, over and out. Ditto.